Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in Ohio. And I believe we're running the new commander in this match. But before we get into all that, I just gotta say, I just finished my stream. You guys know that, the stream of ranked battles. If you were there during any of it, you know about how that went. Lord have mercy. They have got to do something about those 1v1s to limit the amount of Gneisnos and Heinrichs and everything else, man. Just turn torpedoes off during it and everything will be fine. But no, that takes too much effort by wargaming to try to balance things. They would rather make it so that the only thing that ever shows up is German battleship with torpedoes. Anyway, we don't care about that. It's over. We're in the Ohio, and we're on our side, and we are going to do everything in our power to carry this team to a victory. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, we're not alone. For once, there's actually other people on this team that are competent. I know. I always try to call it out when it's there, but you'll see what I mean in a moment. But it isn't without a little bit of a caveat, okay? Now, I do say that there are two people in this match that have absolutely incredible games of their own right, alongside our incredible game. So I hope you guys are ready. We're about to have three people have a lot of XP, meaning we did everything that we were supposed to do, right? The rest of the team, not so much, because you'll realize just how badly we had to carry in order to make this thing even remotely competitive. So, yeah. As we push out, the very first thing you're going to notice is Worcester is just kind of reversing. Broadside to everybody. Our Worcester is going all the way out to the edge. There's only a single destroyer, and he's clearly in the Bravo cap. So we're going to put ourselves in a position to move forward safely and try to deal with the Worcester that's here. Now, because of this build, we don't have the range that we normally have, and that is one of the biggest downsides of this build, is that you lose that range. So it may be a good idea to go ahead and start running the Epic Battle Booster on this thing. Now, we shoot at the Worcester as we know he's slowing down to go forward, but he's running propulsion mod. He gets moving forward a lot quicker than we were ready for. So unfortunately, first shot misses, but that's when we notice there's also a Brisbane on the right side. And of course, very first shot splashes the water. I apologize, man. Like I said, just finished the stream. It's after midnight. I am ready for bed, but I had to record this. Well, I say record this. I already had the video from the previous night. I just had to record a narration for it. But as the Worcester is not really trying to do a whole lot, he's running away. I'm trying to put myself in a position specifically to counter the Brisbane, but you can see with the carrier spotting the Brisbane, Brisbane is running away. And that's when we see the Alaska. And this is a problem. This Alaska is in a good place to counter me, but he's also in a good place to annoy me while I have to fight him getting shot by the freaking little turd burglar on my right. Now, unfortunately, Alaska destroys our guy immediately, and we have to punch him in the face for it. But he is now going to turn and bow tank us. Of course, he's got 32 millimeters of armor, so we can't really overmatch him. So we have to shoot superstructure when we get the chance. Now you can see we are getting set on fire. Now I'm not gonna lie, there is a Alaska right there that has the potential to help with that destroyer that's in that cap, right? And I don't know exactly what's going on, but that Alaska is actually one of the guys that ends up being really, really good on the team. It just doesn't seem that way for a long time. And fun fact, I actually said something about it in the middle of the, or at the end of the match. I was like, dude, it's like, how are you full health this late in the match in Alaska? But turns out he watches the channel and he was glad to get into a game with me. But it's just one of those situations like, how are you full health at the end of the match? But again, he didn't really have to take a whole lot of damage because I'm here taking all the damage for him. And that's what a battleship captain should be doing. And that is the whole purpose of this particular build on this, is that we can take those extra damage. Now, obviously with the Worcester and the Brisbane coming this direction, we got to get out of here. And there's also another battleship over there, which turns out to be a Vermont. I had no idea it was a Vermont, but it could have been real bad for me had he actually landed a clean salvo. But we get a good shot here into the side of the Alaska, finally get the Citadel, down he goes. And so that clears up quite a bit for this side of the map. Now, look at the positioning of our Worcester. He's charging out after that enemy Brisbane. And we know that there's a Vermont there as well. But unfortunately, between all of these guys, now that we got rid of the guy that was back here, it's time for me to start turning back around. I need to go towards that Charlie cap, right? We don't play around and wait for the team to do things. We do our job, right? And our destroyer is on the other side of the map, so he can't capture the base for us. So it's up to us to do it. Now, we do have the Louisiana here, and we have the Alaska here. And I'm fairly confident it was the Louisiana that also did really, really well for us. I could be wrong, but you can see here we have the gearing. I go ahead and take a shot at the gearing. Gearing, unfortunately, is going to see that coming and turn and get out of the way of those shells. But we had to take the shot, right? You miss all the shots you don't take. Priority targets, you have to shoot. Now, unfortunately, the Alaska didn't get a shot into him. The Louisiana didn't get a shot into him. But this is where my frustration started with that Alaska. Is like, you're a radar cruiser. You got a destroyer right on top of you, man. What are you... Like, why are you not even trying to get rid of the guy? Plus, you got 2 battleships right here that could have potentially shot the guy as well. But we get a shot out on the Vermont, and that's when I finally realized it was a Vermont. But he gets around the corner. We do get a couple of penetrations, but we're trying to put ourselves in position to not only counter the Vermont and the 2 cruisers out here, but also capture the base. Because, again, capturing the base is a big deal in this game, and a lot of people simply don't do it. Now here, this is why we take all those shots, because you miss all the shots you don't take, and this poor Worcester's about to find out the hard way that if he can shoot over the island, so can I. But yeah, it never ceases to amaze me how cruiser players just think that they're safe. Like, they're like, oh, I'm back here on the back side of an island, let me just go. Yeah, that was auto aim, probably could have failed, but fortunately for me, it didn't. But our Worcester overextends. He's broadside to the Vermont. You can see the shells coming from the Vermont already. We go ahead and rush a shot here. Unfortunately, Brisbane ends up finishing off the Worcester after Vermont slapped the shit out of him. But we get a couple of hits on the Vermont before he comes around the corner. And this Vermont's actually going to showcase that he has at least some ability here, because he doesn't just charge straight in. He is over-angled initially, but he is going to turn away. And so I try to go for the big hit here. We all know that that's a terrible idea. He takes a big shot at me. I'm angled pretty well. We get a pretty decent hit overall. But from here on out, we're going to have to take what he gives us. Now, you can see the enemy Brisbane out here. We need to get rid of this guy. We can't leave this little turd burglar with no health sitting out here DPMing us, right? It's bad enough that we got to deal with the Vermont. We can't be dealing with the Vermont and the Brisbane. So we take a shot with the front guns. Unfortunately, he is going to slow down and stop. And you can see, this is what a lot of people don't do very well, especially battleship captains. You've got to understand what the enemy is going to do. And we talk about tendencies quite a bit. But this next shot, we're expecting the slowdown, so we aim a little bit shorter, just trying to get some shots. And notice that I'm not over-angling to the Vermont while doing this. I'm shooting 2 guns at the Brisbane, and you can see that's a much better placed shot, and down he goes. But that's tendencies, right? He did it once, he's likely to do it again. So we anticipate him slowing down and turning away from us. Now we've got the Vermont. We are bow into the Vermont. He can't overmatch us. We can't overmatch him. He gets HE on us. And I gotta admit, like, again, this Vermont seems to know what he's doing. He's kiting. He knows that he's up against a lot more firepower than he wants to be against. But he shot HE, and I was thinking, okay, well, there's a good chance that he's probably going to shoot HE again because he's going to have 2 guns loaded, right? So I chance going ahead and turning here, and we actually get fortunate enough to destroy one of his turrets here too, which is nice. But you'll see that he did actually load AP, so it's a good thing that I kept my turn going. But we take a couple of penetrations, no big deal. We're about to get our guns on target again. He got his front guns off. He knocks our turrets out this time, and then we place a shot right into the superstructure to get some damage there. But you can see, I'm looking back, and I'm like, okay, I've got a full health Alaska here, a full health Louisiana here. My carrier's over on this side running away from a destroyer, so I need to try to get back into a position to help the destroyer. I don't want to use my damage control on turrets, because I've done this many a times. The amount of times that I've used the damage control to fix a turret and then immediately regretted it is just countless in World of Warships Legends. So I need to, personally, that is one thing that I'm trying to work on, is stop using my damage controls for turrets. But as I start to kite away from this Vermont, like the reason I'm doing this is because I want him to turn to me, right? And you can see he's now coming back in, so now that we're drawing him back towards our teammates where we can potentially get some help, I'm going to start requesting support. We're also still shooting at a superstructure and still getting good pins. And we've already used 4 heals in the Ohio in this fight. We got 2 more to go. But notice that there's still a battleship on that far side that is coming this direction as well. We got to keep an eye on that. We also know that the destroyer's here. Now, I have no idea why on earth our battleship or our carrier player stopped going after this destroyer. But we get a very good salvo against this Vermont. But watch what he does. Like this destroyer's right here, right? Like he knows where the destroyer's at. He's attacking the destroyer currently. I'm coming back to help. We have a radar cruiser. Radar cruiser's in a position to counter the people that are coming across the map. I'm actually going to be the one that everybody shoots at because I'm fighting a Vermont right now, and I'm broadside to everybody. So we got to get rid of this guy ASAP, right? Like the sooner we get rid of this Vermont, it's clear at this point we're not going to get any support for the Vermont, so we just got to get rid of him as quickly as humanly possible. We're not aiming for belt. We're trying to aim above the belt, upper side plating, superstructure area, get as much pins as possible. And you can see we're doing a much better job mitigating damage than he is. Now, as I'm putting myself back here, I am very, very aware of the fact that this Burgonia is here, right? Like, we know he's here, and there you can see I'm starting to get hit by him now. So, I'm trying to get rid of the Vermont. I know that the destroyer is still here, but look at what my carrier starts doing. My carrier just now decided the Vermont was a problem and needs to go after the Vermont. The entire time, never sent a single plane at him. But just as about the time that I get him low health, that's when he gives up trying to go after the destroyer and goes after the freaking guy that I've got almost dead. But Burgonia here is pushing in. We're going to go ahead and farm his superstructure. That's when the gearing gets spotted. Now, I have no choice here, right? Like, I have to respect the fact that the gearing has got torpedoes. So, we end up opening the angle up way too much. And we're trying to avoid getting hit with the torpedoes, but unfortunately he gets not 1, but 2 torpedo hits because I can't stop the back of the ship from turning. And I'm still broadside to the enemy Burgonia, which is not ideal. But we're trying to angle away from the Burgon. He's going to keep me spotted, unfortunately, for this enemy gearing. And you can see I am frustrated as crap as I get taken out by the Burgonia, but literally, you see what I'm doing, and you see what my teammates have been doing this whole time. They are literally sitting behind an island, bow tanking. Like, what? Come on, fellas. I need a little bit of help there, man. A radar would have been nice. Where's the radar? Where's the radar? Huh? Again. And you can see I'm in chat right now, and I'm telling them, like, how are you full health in Alaska this late in the game? And a radar ship at that, and you never bothered trying to, like, help spot the guy while I'm sitting there getting focused. You saw the guy was there. But again, not hating, but it was frustrating in the moment, and I definitely let him know about it. I was like, come on, man. And he's like, well, don't worry, we're going to win. I'm like, yeah, I know we're going to win, as long as you guys aren't goofy and get killed. But it's still frustrating from my perspective to fight my butt off like I did, only to die like that with a radar cruiser right next to me. That guy was sitting in the smoke screen. I was loaded, ready to go, and the Alaska never radared. Didn't even bother. And I know he ain't used his radar, right? Like, he hasn't used his radar the entire game. I refuse to believe that he used his radars at any point during the match. But I digress. It doesn't matter. He's going to end up taking out the cruiser here, I believe. Yep, takes out the enemy Alaska. Our Louisiana comes out full broadside in front of their 2 battleships, which is not ideal. But they did manage to get rid of the Burgonia, and that leaves the Maine. We are at 773 points. So again, these guys don't have to do anything. They win the match, right? As long as they don't get themselves killed, we win. But it was a great game. And like I said, Louisiana, Alaska both played great games. It was just frustrating in the moment for that last, like, little bit. You got the destroyer right there, clearly spotted. He's in a smoke screen. Like, you're in range. All he had to do was radar, and I would have been able to kill the destroyer, and then I would have felt better about dying. But either way, a win's a win. Everybody played well. At least the 3 people on our side of the map played well. Everybody else was a bit sus. but made for a fun competitive match for once, and that's rare these days, man. I enjoy the games that come down to the wire. I don't mind losing. Like, a lot of people think I'm just a sore loser, but I don't mind losing a competitive game. I just hate the raffle stomps. Whether I'm on the giving or the receiving end of it, it doesn't matter. I just hate raffle stomps. So it's good to get these games that go down to the wire, that could go either way. One or two people managing to bring the game over the finish line. You know what I mean? So these are my favorite types of games. But you see Louisiana, 13 seconds left. Got a beautiful look at the midway. Is he going to get the shot? Is he going to get the shot? Doesn't look like he's getting a shot. Unfortunate. But either way, look at the XP totals for our team. First of all, you know I did 181,000 damage, high caliber, 4 kills, and a solo cap. And we get second on the team to the Alaska, who had 3,645 damage, or 3,645 XP with 3 kills. And then the Louisiana had another 3,200 XP as well. So 3 people on the team with over 3K base XP. That's pretty solid. So like I said, no hate. Just one of those things. It was a frustrating moment, but we ended up having a nice chat there. But yeah, he had 3,156 XP as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed the game, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.